Thank you for joining me here on WowBiz Weekly. Obviously, you're on wowbiztv.com or on youtube.com/wowbiztv. Either one will enable you to see the most interesting interviews with Omaha's business community, the movers and shakers, the people that are really have something to share and have stuck their neck out and decided to join me here on camera. It's my pleasure to be here at Creighton University and here inside the Hickson Lead Auditorium, inside the Harper Center. It's a beautiful facility, and we are so grateful for Creighton's assistance in that regard. You know, we've been talking a lot recently about Nodo. That would be the northern edge of downtown Omaha. It's going through its own transformation. Of course, transformation has been a key word here as we've been chatting throughout the day. And one of the buildings that has really added to the sense of momentum, it's taking on its own aura over there at the Mastercraft building. We did the WowBiz Weekly show and produced it at the Mastercraft for a number of episodes last fall in 2012. So here we are in 2013, and everybody's intrigued. What is going on in this building? It's attracted some of Omaha's most innovative entrepreneurs. The entire community has in its bearings. Let's talk to the developer that saw the future with the Mastercraft building and has configured it to serve the emerging profile of Omaha's business community. Please welcome my landlord, by the way, Mr. Bob Grinnell, ladies and gentlemen. Hey.
Morning, Lynn.
Good to see you, bud. Come on, sit down here, relax. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, I ran over to the building earlier this morning so I could get my speaker and get a few materials, and it was a joy to walk into it. Just a joy to be there, I have to tell you that.
Well, it's nice to have you there too.
Yeah, it really is something, and I love having people over there because they always, this is a brand, right? This is a branding thing. It's not.
It is a brand.
Yeah, because people walk in there and they think differently about the companies that are there just because of the environment.
I had some very good advice early on. We had, of course, some of the best web developers in town.
Yep.
And creatives. And
yep. And I count myself among that crew at this point, but keep on going.
Well, and they talked to me, Bob, you need to establish a brand.
Yes.
Well, what's that? You know, and so I've learned as we've gone along, but it's very difficult to build and time-consuming, and yes, probably quite easy to knock it down if you're not, extremely
easily
careful.
Compromised. That's right. That's right. So let's define it, because a lot of people haven't seen it, haven't been there. It was formerly a sofa or furniture factory.
Mastercraft Furniture Factory, built in. The company was established in 1924, and this building was built in 1941, okay, the primary building, and then it was added on to several times through the years. Its current footprint is
quite large.
900 feet long and 150 feet wide, so it's about 3 football fields.
Yeah, 3 football fields. It is quite something to stride through the building, and it's one level. Right? So it's one floor, a lot of natural light flowing in.
Clear story light from above and probably half of the building.
Yeah. But it does have a cement floor, and so you kind of have that urban feeling as you're going through the building. It's not, how do I say it? I don't want this to sound negative. It's not overly refined, and yet it's a sophisticated building.
It's just industrial.
It's industrial. That's right.
It's
Urbanatural.
Urbanatural, that's it.
Well, let's go ahead and explain that, because I don't think these people, we haven't really debuted that word. By the way, the last show, we debuted a new word. We called a lady who's an entrepreneur, we called her a fusionary. And that has already hit social media. So let's talk, what is urban-naturalism insofar as we've discussed it? Because I think it defines your building perfectly.
Well,
it's a combination of two things. Urban and...
I was supposed to study this.
You were, but you're not prepared, are you? So let's put the two words together. Urban implies sophistication, gloss, beauty, dynamism, action, energy, right? We associate that with Manhattan or a place like Miami, whatever. But natural, of course, would be more like earthy, organic, related to the outdoors, green, kind of serene and green, very much green. So we have these two things that are very, very different. And we use the word "n" at the end of urban and the beginning of natural, and we pull them together, and somehow, poof, we've got a descriptor of a word that I think describes America to some extent, and definitely describes the Mastercraft building. I know you didn't have that in mind originally, but I think
it's growing on me.
It's a terrific label for you. Now, what's the next level? You've got 30 or so bays or small offices rented out. What's going on?
We've got 35 tenants now that range in size from 400 plus square feet, the
right.
small suites that we just
That's
built.
right. That's right.
All the way up to, I think one of them is 5,200, 5,300 square feet. So, and then everything in between. The average size seems to be 1,200 to around there square feet.
Yeah,
So,
and you've attracted an interesting grouping. A lot of marketing-oriented organizations, consulting. You've got some financiers, a lot of web developers. So a young it's really the cultural creatives.
That's right.
Of Omaha that have kind of aggravated there in. Not aggravated, aggregated, by the way.
Thank
right?
you.
Inside the building. Now, what's the next thing? You're building out the end of the building, which is different, right?
We're at about the halfway point right now. So there's so many different types of architecture in the building. The south end of the building where we started had the clear story lights that let in a lot of sunlight.
Yes.
As we go further north in the building, we lose that. There's more flat ceilings, so we've developed a system where we're going to bring skylight light in.
Wow!
So we'll have the
So
same.
you're going to invest here now. This is not a small deal.
No, that's right. So we're at the halfway point. We've taken 3 years of filling tenants in.
Right.
We're at about the 50% point, and now in one bite, we're going to go ahead and develop the rest of the building because we're at the end of our clear story space, which is our prime space.
Yes.
So we've got about 15,000 square foot of that left, and then we get into the flat ceiling area and some newer
built in the 60s.
That's right, 60s and even 70s.
Okay.
A big clear span building that we're going to utilize. We're going to put some industrial spaces in there where people can weld and create.
Really?
And that'll
sculptors and things like
that. That's right.
that?
That'll be clear up north, and then we'll have an area that's about 20,000 square feet. Well, there'll be 24 office areas that are all 500 to 700 square feet. There's a big demand for the
small,
less than 1,000 square feet. So we're trying to meet that. And the plan is then that we'll have a little bit of everything to offer all at one time. And then we'll start planning for the Ashton building.
I got two questions to ask. First of all, we talked earlier to Steve Jordan about the 10th and Capitol development, which isn't too far away from 13th and Nicholas, where the Mastercraft is. Is that a good thing for your development or a bad thing? Do you like kind of being out there in that industrial area by yourself, or is it good?
No, more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
We've heard stories of, and the area is nothing. If there's no rumors, there's a lot of stories going on.
Yeah, rumors reflect that there's something going on.
That's right. And so you've got from Abbott Drive to 16th Street.
Right.
From Nicholas to Grace Street. That whole area. We thought Grace Street. Well, now we've heard there's been some articles in the World Herald about some development on 13th and Locust that could put Mastercraft more in the center of north downtown rather than on the north edge of it. So,
well, see, that goes along with the trend. You start on the verge, you're out there on the verge where nobody else is, and then things build around you, and you find yourself in the vortex of entrepreneurial activity in Omaha, Nebraska. Bob Grinnell, the Mastercraft. It's a legacy building. You got to check us out over there. Thanks for joining me, sir.
Excellent.
Great to see you. Thanks so much. Wild News Weekly right here at Creighton University. Check out our next show. We'll be right back. Thanks so much. We love you. Bye-bye.